Hi, this is Scott with Etrailer. Today we're taking a look at our CURT Class 3 hitch for 2020 BMW X5. Our CURT Class 2 hitch is going to have a really nice gloss finish. It's going to hold up really well to the environment. It's going to reduce a lot of chipping and scratching. This one's going to be a hidden cross tube design, so basically all the cross tube is mounted back here behind your fascia. The only thing you're going to see is this portion hanging down here. This hitch is going to be, of course, your 2-inch opening. This is going to accommodate all of your common accessories on the market today that are 2-inch. As far as measurements go for this hitch, from the center of our pinhole out to the bumper, we're looking at right at about 3 inches. And with that number, that's the number you're going to look for with your accessories that fold up. With those, you'll be able to figure out if you'll be able to fold them up and not make contact with the back of your vehicle. As far as from the top of your tube to the ground, we are looking at right at around 13.5 inches. And with that measurement, that's the one you're going to want to know to make sure that if you need any kind of rise in any of your accessories just for more clearance, like say your bike racks or your cargo carriers, that's the number you're going to want to go by with that. This hitch is going to have a 5/8 pinhole opening. That is going to be, it pops in there like that, and that's what's going to hold your accessories in place. Now this hitch will not come with a pin, so you'll have to order one here at Etrailer. Or another nice option with these is to take a look at our locking pins. Those are really nice if you leave your accessories on. Say you go for a bike ride and you don't want anyone to be able to steal your bike rack while you're going down the trail. That's a nice option. It gives you a little peace of mind and security while you're heading down the trail. Now for your loops, these are going to be a welded on safety chain loop. They're going to accommodate your S style or your Clevis style hooks. So either one of those that you have on your trailer is a good option for you. As far as weight ratings for this hitch, it's going to be 700 pounds tongue weight rating, and that's pushing down on this portion of the hitch. So that's going to be the combination of your bike rack with all your bikes on it. Say your cargo carrier, you have it loaded down, that's going to be the weight of your cargo carrier and everything that you have on it. As far as gross trailer weight rating, that is going to be 7,000 pounds, and that is going to be everything you have on your trailer and including your trailer as well. So that's the number you have with that. Another thing you want to keep in mind is you want to take a look in your owner's manual and look at your gross trailer weight rating for that and make sure you stay with the lowest number between the two. As far as installation for this hitch, on a scale from 1 to 10, this one is definitely going to be a 10. There was a lot involved with putting this one on. If you do plan on doing wiring at the same time, like say you want to have trailer wiring with it, like a 4-pole setup, I recommend doing that at the same time. You have a lot of stuff you're going to be taking apart to get this one done. If it's something you really don't feel like doing yourself, you could take a look at our dealer locator and have something done locally for you. Or if you feel like tackling it yourself, stick around, watch our video, and we'll help you get it installed. To start our installation, we have our hatch open, and we're going to need to get into the back. We're going to have quite a few parts we're going to be removing in the back of our vehicle. So we'll start off with the easy stuff first. First thing we want to do is get our side access panels out of the way. So those will be our first step. Those just pull right out. This one on the passenger side, you may want to get something behind it, and it's pretty simple. Just pick it up and lift it out. And we'll get those out of the way. Now we have these little flaps. We need to remove this panel. So the little flaps should just pop right up for you on either side. You're going to take a T40 star bit. And just break those loose on both sides. Now underneath of our panel, we're going to have our shock here that basically helps lift up our panel. We need to get this out of the way, so we're just going to take a flathead, or you can use like a pick or anything like that, but I'm going to use a pick tool. And just get behind that little metal band and just pop that back. Make sure you get it back on both sides. Now that we have our band popped out, we're just going to pull back on our little shock and just let that drop down. Now we can pull our panel out of the way. Now we need to remove this panel here to the rear of our vehicle. We're going to have 7 push pin fasteners around the edges of it. So we're going to start out with a flathead screwdriver, and we're just going to start popping those out. Get under it, wiggle your screwdriver around, and just start popping those guys out. With our fasteners removed, now we can lift our panel out of the way. Now this panel needs to be removed as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 T20 star bits in the back. Just going to go ahead and get those removed now. Now we can pop our panel up out of the plate. Now you may need to pull your trim back, your seal in the back, because this kind of rides down in the seal. And once you do that, you should be able to pull up on your panel. Just kind of push it aside so you can clear any of your plastic parts. And lift it out of the way. The seal, it just basically sits down over top of this. You can see where it just kind of sits on there. You may have to pull that up to get that to come clear, but once you get this out of the way, you'll be able to pop that panel right up. Along the bottom of our panel, we're going to have pop clips. We're going to go ahead and remove those. Just going to use a flathead and get those popped out. Got one in the front here as well. Now in the front, we're going to have this plug, this plastic plug. Just want to get behind it with a screwdriver as well and pop that out of the way. Now behind where we pulled out the plastic plug, there's going to be a 10mm bolt. We're just going to go ahead and get that removed. Now we just want to take this panel here and just rock this forward a little bit carefully. Just pull on it a little bit and it will unclip. We're just going to leave it sit forward. Now right behind this panel we pulled loose is going to be one more pop clip. Let's get that one pulled out and out of the way. Now we can just start breaking our panel loose. Just pull it away. Now you're going to have to pull it back over the latch. And behind here, we're going to have our light and a 12-volt socket. For our light, there's going to be a white tab in the front of it. So pull in on that tab. Push the light through, twist it, and pull it back through. Now for our 12-volt, we're just going to pull this tab back, push down on our white tab and pop that loose. Now we can just push this over out of the way. Just enough to give us a little bit of room. Now right above our fuse box here, you're going to have this dip. And behind that dip, you're going to have like some sound deadening stuff there. If you pull that down, now you can either roll this back out of the way if you can get it to do that for you, or you can cut it or do just what I'm doing now. Just pull it down, get your tool over top of it, and it's going to be a 10mm nut back there. And I like to keep a magnet handy because it is back in there and I don't want to drop that. So just back that off nice and slow. Keep my magnet ready. On it if I can. And once I have it broke loose, I can pull that out with my magnet until I can get my fingers on it. Now on your driver's side, you're going to have another 10mm nut, and you're going to have basically the same little flap for your sound deadener. You just have to look up in there. Now we're going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to use a stubby ratchet and a 10mm. And all I'm going to do is just get it backed off far enough where I can take it off with my fingers. On each side, we're going to have this plastic panel. This is just going to pop back out of the way. Just get your fingers behind it and pull it straight back. We'll do that on both sides. Now we have two T30 star bits behind here, and then we're going to need to take these out so we can pull out both of our taillight housings. Just make sure you're holding your light when you pull these out. Now we just want to carefully pull our housing out and flip it over. Now on this side, we're going to have a little red clip. Just want to pull that back. Push down on the black tab behind it and pull out our light. Now we went ahead and covered up the edges of our seams where we're going to be popping it apart with some blue painter's tape. That's going to keep it from getting scratched up when these do come apart and happen to come up and nick anything. So that's a good idea to do that, and I do recommend that. We have this trim that goes around. We need to get this pulled back. It's going to have a bolt back here we need to get to, so we're just going to pop it up and out, and just kind of get behind it. A little pressure on it. Work your way up with it. It can be pretty tight, so just be patient with it. There we go. Now we don't need to remove the whole thing. We have our, looks like an 8mm bolt back here. Now we're just going to take a rag and stuff it behind here. That way it's going to hold it out so we can get at that nut. Now we'll take an 8mm ratchet and just back out our bolt that goes into this part of our fascia. Can be a little tricky to get to, just be patient and you'll get it. With that out, we'll do the same thing on our other side. Now on each side, we're going to have our reflectors down here. You just get behind this with a trim tool and just kind of give it a little pressure, being very careful with it. These can be delicate, especially on the tip, so you have to be really careful with these. And just carefully pull straight back the best that you can. And again, be very careful with these tips because they are very fragile. On each side, where our reflectors were behind there, is an 8mm screw. I'll take those out on both sides. Now underneath here, we're going to have these panels underneath we're going to need to remove, and they are going to be 8mm. And we're going to have a whole bunch of them across here, so I'm just going to start popping them out. On each side, we're going to need to get these 8mm out right back here by where our lower gate is. Now we want to get behind our panel in our wheel well and just kind of pull back. This should come back pretty easy for you at that port. Now once we get to that point, if we look right up here, we're going to have these little tabs that we can push down. Push them down a little bit and it'll pop back. Do that on those. Just get it to pop back. Remove your tool. Now we'll just try and get our panel to pop loose. Once it starts to break loose, it'll start coming for you pretty easy. Now, you got to remember we have a clip back here, so we want to make sure we get that undone. Now you just want to push down on these two tabs and pull your clip loose. Now we can move our fascia out of the way. Now that we have our fascia out of the way, we're going to get our kick sensor panel out of the way. We have push clips again. Just go along until you have those all out. For now, we'll just put this underneath here and just have it set out of the way. Now with an 18mm socket, we're going to go ahead and break loose our bumper beam bolts. Now right here we have a little Christmas tree fastener that's holding on our kick panel bar, so we just want to get that out of the way because that is attached to our bumper beam. Just get that out of the way. Now we can continue on with taking out all of our bolts. Now on each side you're going to have a 13mm bolt holding in your exhaust bracket. You need to take those off before you can remove your bumper beam. So now we'll just take our last nut off of our bumper beam. Just make sure you're holding it in place so it doesn't drop off on you. As you can see, our bumper beam isn't going to quite go over our hitch, and we will be installing our bumper beam over top. So we're going to have to take an inch out on either side of this so it will go down on when we put it back in place. Now I'm going to take a Sawzall with a fresh blade and just start getting it cut down. Now that we have our edges cut off, you can see that it fits right over top of our hitch. Now we can get everything put in place. Now we have our hitch set up there where we want it. Now we'll take our bumper beam and go right on top of that. Now you just want to get a couple of our nuts that we took off. We are reusing our factory hardware. Get a couple of those in place to hold everything where we want it. Now we'll just come back through and snug down all of our hardware. Now we'll come back through and torque down our hardware to the specifications listed in our instruction manual. Now we'll get our exhaust brackets put back into place. Now we'll get our kick sensor panel back in place, and then we can start putting back together our fascia. Now with everything torqued down and in place where we want it, we'll go ahead and start putting our fascia back on. With an extra set of hands, we're just going to maneuver it into place. We have to remember that we did unplug our sensors back here. I want to make sure we get that plugged in. Now carefully. Now we're just going to lay out our panel the way they show it on our instruction manual, and we're going to take some measurements and get it marked out, and we'll cut out our clearance for our hitch. Once you have your measurements all figured out and you have everything marked out, I like to hold it up there and double check and make sure you have it in the right spot before I go cutting it. So you may want to do that yourself. Other than that, I'm just going to use a reciprocating tool, and I'm just going to cut around my mark and get ready to set it in place. Now, once we have all our tuning done on our trimming, we can go ahead and get our panel put back in place. And that was a look at our CURT Class 3 hitch for our 2020 BMW X5. I'm Scott with Etrailer, and thanks for watching.